Welcome everybody. We'll call this meeting of the Hillsboro School Board to order. It's our first meeting of the new school year. We're really excited to be gathered. Why don't we all stand and join the pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And with that, we have.
Do we hold anything for you?
Maybe we'll see. We have the wonderful opportunity to swear in our new board members. It's very exciting to have a fresh crowd here ready to go, and we are going to do them in position order. Aside from can we do it right here? That's why I'm wondering if there's a more photogenic.
I'll hand you their photos as you do them. How's that sound?
And so, Eric. Okay, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I, Eric Lopez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
During my term, I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of
of the office of school board member
the office of school board member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Let's figure out how to traffic power. Eric.
Yep, there you go. Mark.
Mark. Repeat after me. I, say your name,
I, Mark Watson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
During my term,
During my term,
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
of the office of school board member
of the office of school board member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Mark. All right.
I, Martin Edward Banner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
and the policies of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
During my term,
During my term,
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
the duties of the office of school board member
the duties of the office of school board member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities. So help me God.
I, Jacqueline Sprouse,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and the policies
and the policies
of the
Hillsboro
School District 1J.
of the Hillsboro School District 1J.
During my term,
During my term,
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of school board member
to
the best of my ability.
the best of my ability. So help me.
so much for the service that you're about to embark in. It's exciting, it's wonderful, fulfilling, and frustrating, and difficult, and all that all rolled into one, and it's going to be fantastic. So this is after things like this, commonly we welcome all the dedicated folks who have come to attend. We have some board meeting stuff to carry out. We also fully understand if you'd rather not sit through the rest of the very exciting board meeting. So if you care to make your escape now, there will be no hard feelings. You're welcome to stay.
Feel free to bring up the flowers.
Yeah, if there's any handshakes or anything that wants to happen, please don't be shy. Very good. It's kind of an emotional uplift, and then I just have to ask for an approval of the agenda, which sounds really boring, but at this point, I would be asking for a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
And if you all know my reading challenges, I'll survive just a little bit longer. Motion is made by Kim and seconded by Martin to approve the agenda as printed. Any comments or discussions? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. I heard a button push and I realized my screen wasn't turned on. So. Okay. Next up will be audience time. Do we have any audience cards? Did the mayor want to speak? I would love to. I think he needs to go fill out an audience participation. Get his name and number, will you?
An open mic in 15 minutes.
I did mention
Looks like more like 209. I just want to say, I'm always and will be proud to be HSD, but I'm also very pleased as new mayor to welcome new board and to tell you that we're excited to work with you as a city, and I'm excited to support the bond and work with you in that way. Wish you all the best, and again, I'm grateful for Chair Clip for your leadership and those of you who have been on for many years and those of you who are just beginning. So anyway, thank you for serving our community. Congratulations, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. With that, and seeing no other members of the audience requests, we will continue. And that brings us to our reports and discussions. We have Travis up with the discussion on curriculum adoption cycle.
Great, thank you. Since you're not sworn to uphold the laws of the state of Oregon, I'm here to support you. So Division 22 assurances. Tonight I do an annual report to the board on our intention, if there is any, to postpone curriculum adoption according to the cycles recommended by the Oregon Department of Education. We're currently, as you know, implementing a high school math adoption, and we'll be implementing this year K-12 science adoption, which we're really excited about, which brings us back on cycle with ODE's recommendations regarding math and science. At this time, our district intends to notify the Oregon Department of Education that we plan to continue to postpone adoption of instructional materials for the following academic content areas: world languages, health and physical education, social science, and art. This postponement is a result of multiple years of budget reduction for the district. I also want to assure the board that when we make that submission to the Oregon Department of Education that we intend to be off cycle in those content areas, that we also check the box in the same table that says we do teach to the state adopted standards in every one of those content areas. So while we would like to have stayed on cycle and adopted new materials, be they paper textbooks or technology that's fresh and new in each of those content areas, we do teach to the standards and use open source materials, create our own materials, et cetera, in those content areas. So I also wanted to explain that the game is changing, essentially, in curriculum adoption in the state of Oregon and internationally as open source materials come online and really challenge the viability and the economic responsibility of buying paper textbooks, which often become obsolete a year or two after they're purchased. A great example of that is in the sciences. So we will continue to notify the Oregon Department of Education that we're off cycle in the materials adoption for certain content areas until we're back on track, or until they decide to change the guidelines and support cycles on a more ongoing basis, which is essentially what we do as a district anyway. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but this is the official notification to the board and the public that we'll continue to be off cycle in those specific areas.
That's asking for a question. Any questions?
Yeah, happy to answer.
Okay.
Yes, I
Oh.
sorry.
Sorry. There's a button you can tell me, or just you got it.
No, this one.
That-
How's that? Is that
Yeah,
right?
you're Kim.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great, okay.
We'll deal with that with check phones next time.
How long have we been postponing or been off cycle? And the follow-up is there a penalty for not being aligned with ODE's timeline?
I'll answer the first one. The second one first. No, there's not a penalty. They understand the situation that we're in. They support us actually doing an independent adoption of materials in an off-cycle way when we have the resources to do so. So they've been really supportive of us. They're curriculum experts at ODE. Each of those content areas has a different last date of comprehensive adoption. So I can click through those. I went back and found the last time that we kind of found the archived information about when we bought those materials. Now, keep in mind that when I read these dates, you'll be scandalized that it's been so long, but know that we've updated materials in supplemental ways since then. This is the last time we did a K-12 comprehensive adoption for $1 million of this specific content area. So world languages, last time we did a comprehensive was in 1998. Health, 1998. Physical education, 2003. Social sciences, 2007. And art splits into two categories with music in 1999 and art in 2001.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kim?
I would just add, as long as I've been a board member, we've never been on cycle.
Okay.
So it's really not unusual. This has become sort of the norm of Oregon not adequately funding, and that's being able to purchase books in the way we used to.
The cycle used to be on 5-year cycles, and they expanded it to be a 7-year recommended cycle. And that's where we are today, although they recognize that we, as a state, struggle to stay on that cycle, given that each district's responsible for developing their own revenue toward adopting those new materials, which go up in cost every year as well. Thanks, Kim.
Lisa?
So last time we did this, I asked if you could get us sort of a dollar amount total that it would cost for us to be on cycle for the materials, and you did that in an update, which was excellent, thank you. I'm wondering if it would be feasible time-wise to do that again with this new update, and also to make sure that our new advocacy committee that's informed and we have that information so that we can make sure to communicate that to the folks in Salem on the off chance that that will make some kind of difference.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. Seeing no other questions? All right, thank you, Travis. Financial report, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Morrison, Director of Business Services. I'm standing in for our Chief Financial Officer, Adam Stewart, but he is out of town. Just for our new board members, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at our financial reports at all. There's a short narrative about just some activities that we're doing to support our administrators as instructional leaders. And included in the report, as I know Mark noted, we have our student incidents and our workman's comp claims. We report accidents on a monthly basis. The reports are a month behind, so you'll notice that as you go, why isn't it more current? Because we're still gathering the appropriate information that at the time that our board information is due. So you guys, also we have a monthly cash flow report. It's broken down into major functions that we have appropriated during our budget development cycle. As you can see, it's not audited financial actuals for the 2016-17 school year, but it's pretty close. We expect some settling, but we are in line with both our revenue and expenditure projections throughout the year. If you have any questions, I'm happy to address those.
Okay. Seeing no questions. Thank you very much. All right. So list of our action items. And there was a question over email, and I don't remember if we got the answer to everyone, so I thought I'd just toss it in. To shorten board meetings over the last year or so, we've attempted to move some of the things, particularly first readings of policy changes that didn't get any significant comment after the first reading, move them to consent agenda. The general idea, though, is the consent agenda is created because there's not anticipated that we'll have any questions significant about it. If during your review of the documentation ahead of time you see something you'd like to discuss more deeply or perhaps have voted on separately, then you have the ability to do that. It would be through the motion that gets made for the consent agenda at this point. I'll call for a motion to approve the consent agenda, and if you ever had a concern, wanted to take something up individually, you could make a motion to approve the consent agenda while pulling a particular item off, and then that would be moved to a entry in the action items. And Val can tell me how much I goofed on the description, but that's more or less the process we've used. So please feel free. I mean, the consent agenda, its purpose is to carry out a significant amount of the, I don't want to call it mundane, but the business that we've reviewed heavily before, and we don't want it to feel like something is going by you without you having enough input on it. I remember my first year, and some of these topics caught my attention, largely because I didn't know a lot of the information about them, and we had some deeper conversations. Some got pulled off once to talk about it, so don't feel bad about it. Whenever there's anything that you'd really like to discuss more deeply, please feel free to do that. With that, I would look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Motion made by Lisa and seconded by Martin to approve the consent agenda as published. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion carries. With that, so all of you have, we're moved to action item 8A, elect board chair and vice chair. It's something we do every year, and the role and responsibility of board chair and vice chair moves around among us. And it's my opportunity now to follow this procedure and help guide the nominations and the voting for new board chair and vice chair. You all have the instructions that we're following, and so I'll try to follow that. With that, I would open the floor for nominations for the board chair position.
I nominate Lisa Allen for chair.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for board chair? Seeing none. Let's see, it doesn't say what I do each of them separately. Should I be doing them separately, or do I?
We do them separately.
Okay. With that, seeing no other nominations for board chair, I ask if Lisa accepts that nomination.
I do, thank you very much, Martin, much appreciated.
And making sure I'm following the rules here. With that, I would call for a vote. All those in favor of appointing Lisa as chair of the Hillsboro School District School Board, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. And I think I'm supposed to carry on with one final act, to opening nominations for the position of board vice chair. So I would be looking for nominations for that position.
I nominate Kim Strelchin for vice chair.
Motion is made.
The computer and where you all are sitting.
So yeah, for a guy who has name problems, I won't tell everybody who's popping up as who. Jackie has nominated Kim as board vice chair. Any other nominations? Seeing none. Kim, do you accept that nomination?
Yes, please.
Very good. And with seeing no further discussion or questions, all those in favor of appointing Kim as vice chair of the Hillsboro School Board for next year, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. And with that, I get to turn. Are we gonna just sit there?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Boy. He's out. I got an agenda or two.
Would have been awkward if you hadn't been elected with only one nomination.
I know.
This is strong.
Just ignore that.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that tonight. Okay, so let's just move right along, guys. We are moving along to item 8B, which is declaring surplus equipment. You'll find that on page 61 of the packet. And let me find who's in charge of that. Okay, Dawn and Michelle, all right, awesome.
Just per your situation page, we have a 1994 Chevrolet courier box delivery van that we are declaring as surplus per our policy, and we are intending to put it up for auction at the end of the month. We have a district-wide auction that's happening and will be publicly posted as well. If you have any specific questions about the van, I encourage you to talk to Mr. Don Wolf. He's in charge of this surplus item.
Do you want to add anything?
Not unless you have any specific questions.
Okay, so we'll look for a motion and then we can have some discussion.
I move that the school board of directors declares the specified courier box delivery van as surplus, and we authorize its disposal by public auction.
Second.
Moved by Kim and seconded by Lenny. Does anyone have any questions or comments? If you push your button, I don't know how to work that, so raise your hand. Wait, okay.
Can you tell the date of the auction?
Yes, it's July 29th. I don't have the location or the time, but it will be.
And that's jointly with the rest of.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, So it was moved by Kim and seconded by Wayne, so we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor of declaring the box van surplus and disposing of it by auction, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Okay, so that carries. Super. And that concludes our super exciting action agenda. So we move on to, I think tonight just the HCU report by HCU President Devin Hunter, because I don't see President Go Lane.
All right, well, I need to thank Kim for reminding me of this meeting, because I was on committee meetings, and she's like, oh, I'll see you on Tuesday. I'm like, Tuesday, what's happening? Oh, okay. So, I think so I'll just take this opportunity to introduce myself to the new board. I think we've talked before the campaign process, so I'll just remind you. So, it's Devin Hunter. I am the union president for the classified union. My day job is to work for technology services as a what I call district tech, so I'm responsible for an entire feeder group worth of computers. We're right now in the middle of switching everything, a whole bunch of computers over to Windows 10, so my summer is wonderful. It's fun to help. But I think my objectives and what my goal as union president is to advocate for those classified employees, so the bus drivers, the custodians, the office staff, the nutrition services, all those folks. And I think I think this is like maybe my 5th year as president. You lose track after the first one. It just sort of all blurs together. And a lot of what we've been working on with the district over the last year is how do we build positive relationships with our supervisors and with management. Because I know in years past we've had a very adversarial role, and that is for whatever reason, I don't really care anymore. What I care about is what we can build in the future. What can we make better? So this is my pitch for the bargaining team for Classified. We're a lot of fun. We have our bargaining sessions, have a lot of jokes in it. We all come out of it with a sense of a real accomplishment, because the decisions that we make in that bargaining team that we come to really impacts the lives of the employees of the Hillsboro School District. That is probably one of the most important documents for our classified folks. I mean, that dictates huge swaths of what we have. So please join the committee, have some fun. We're going to be there, and we're ready to get to work and to solve problems. We're gone, I feel, are the days where the union's out to get management and say, what can we do together? Because we understand that without management being able to make sure all the dollars and cents line up, we get furloughs. We get, I was a student of the Hillsboro School District that year that we cut 13 days. That was my graduating senior year. So that, if you do the math, you're like, oh, you're actually pretty young. So, but that was the last experience I had with Hillsboro School District until I came back to work as an employee. And those decisions that you make up here have a huge impact on students. The mundane, the simple, the things that go into consent agenda, yes, they're simple, but they have a gigantic impact on individuals in this district, and it really controls what people's lives are. So I thank you all for your service, because this is a really important job that we need people who are passionate about the education of our students and making sure that this district is the best district in Oregon. So thank you.
Right along, superintendent's turn.
Thank you. So, Connie, you took it to the next level, having Devin advocate for committee work.
Looking for Travis.
I guess a couple things before I start with my comments. That van that you just voted to put out to auction, I've actually driven that van, and I got a flat tire in it while I was driving it. It was a good choice you made this evening. really good choice. Also, I want to tell the new board members that this is not a typical meeting. It's 7:30 right now. So a little expectation management regarding the time that the meeting typically adjourns. typically not 7:30, so I just want you to be aware of that. I'm excited to, though, welcome the new board members. As I paid attention and listened during the campaign season, it was very clear that the message over and over again from the folks that are sitting here this evening, it was all about how do we serve the community in a compassionate way? How do we create opportunities to listen and see what the needs in the community are, including the students in the community? How do we not only understand those needs, but how do we work to meet those needs? And just excited that you folks are joining us and that we have advocates for students without agendas and without any past. And we just, I'm not trying to say anything poorly about the past board members because I do appreciate everyone's service and anyone who signs up for that, but it was clear as you campaigned that there was definitely a pattern of wanting to serve our students well. So appreciate it and welcome you all. I'd also like to just spend the rest of my few minutes talking about thanking Wayne for his service as the board chair. We over the years have given Wayne a bad time about how he forgets names and gets excited about robots and STEM advocacy and that kind of thing. But what we haven't spent as much time doing is celebrating the work that he did as a board chair. And if you think back to some of the topics that Wayne presided over during his time as board chair, there were a number of topics that were not easy. They were highly charged topics in our community, and he did that in such a graceful and dignified way. And I'd just like to thank you for that. You're respectful of staff and you celebrate their successes. You listen to the community members. You've got a poker face when it's called for, which is sometimes tough to do. You ask questions in a thoughtful manner that gives the people that you're asking a sense of dignity and opportunity to respond. And I think the thing that is oftentimes difficult when you're the board chair is that you have to reserve your judgment and your comments for the end. And just making that switch, and you've just done that so well. I think the other thing that I'd like to say is that you've approached this position with no ego whatsoever. You've done it purely out of a sense of how can I serve this community, and we just appreciate it. So thanks for all you've done, and excited that you are now taking the opportunity to pursue your teaching degree. I think you'll be a great teacher. And with that, I would like to return to you for the final time the gavel that your father made and gave you as you became the board chair. So thank you for your efforts.
Okay, excellent. So now at the end of the meeting, we usually do board of directors time. So we'll go around and everyone will get a couple minutes to share their thoughts, and we'll start with Mikey.
No big thoughts. Thank you so much for the respect and the service of all the board members. It's really possible to make meetings successful with the cooperation of everybody. And it's been a pleasure serving as board chair. Lisa, if you have questions, please feel free to ask questions. Seek experience. Kim will be a great guide. Thank you so much. And look forward to more early nights.
You have some issues to fill in that department. I want to thank Mike for the expectation of future meetings. I appreciate that. I'm honored to be here, and I look forward to making positive differences in our community.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, especially to the community that really supported me and all the people that are here that haven't voted, and I hope that we can do some positive changes and that we get ready to work.
Our audience is small, but it's mighty. Yes, it is. We have a mayor and a state representative, and we have the media, and we have people who are involved in the community for many, many years in amazing and passionate ways, and so that's pretty awesome. Kim and Lisa and Wayne, it is a pleasure to join you. I've watched you three serve on the board, and I have tremendous respect for the work and the example that you set, and it's a great example for the new four of us rookies. to follow, and we're joining a very strong board. And Mike, it's a pleasure to serve with you.
Thank you.
And your cabinet.
Just echo the sentiments of a lot of others. I'm honored to be here. Thank you to the community for giving us the opportunity to serve, and thank you to the, as Martin said, the existing board members. You guys have been nothing but welcoming, and I look forward to working with all of you.
I'm just going to say ditto marks behind what Mike said, because he was quite eloquent, and stated what I was thinking about as Wayne as well. It's not always easy to be board chair, and you had an especially difficult term, and were masterful. Thank you for all of your believing in my leadership abilities. I'm excited to be vice chair. It's been a couple of years since I've been in a leadership role, and I'm looking forward to the year.
Awesome. Yeah, I will ditto also. Wayne, you have been an outstanding chair for the last 2 years, and you definitely leave huge shoes to fill. I'll do my best. And also thank you everyone for not having any awkward contrary votes to my unopposed run for chair. That would have been so thank you for that. We are really excited to have you here. And we do have our full day retreat on July 31st, which is out at Root Bridge Park. If anybody's interested in walking out and watching full day of board work, you're welcome to join us. It's a public open meeting. And our next regular session is on September 12th. So hope everyone has a great summer. And with that, we'll adjourn. Do a gavel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
All right.